So we're back at one of our favorite gravel bars. Kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of the mechanics of river flow a little bit. Some people have asked about that, and well, I'll cover that. Now this area that I walk out on and I've brought you out on in other videos is, well, it's now underwater, and that's cool. That just really helps move stone around and washes away old sediments and lays some new stuff. But every time the river comes up, it changes the gravel bar just a little bit. Not a lot, but, well, sometimes, depending on how much it comes up. It could lay a few feet of stone. And then other times it just comes up and moves the sand off and exposes a bunch of gravel. And then we can come out and rockhound. It just depends on the cycle that the river's in, whether it's up or down. And here, the river is up more than it's down. So we tend to take these few times when the river does come down with a bit of gratitude, because most of the time in the winter, this is under about 16 feet of water. So we tend to enjoy these when we can. You can see how when the water did come up, all of these willow scrub brush trees in the gravel bar, how they just get blown right over. It'll strip the leaves off of them, but they stay. Surprisingly, I've rarely seen the river come up and rip them out. It's a few times, but not often. It's just a nifty quirk about how strong their roots are. So this is the Rogue River. After a reasonably good rainstorm, you can see that the gravel bar is completely underwater. And the famous big rock that we point out, you can kind of see if I zoom to it. There it is, underwater. And those trees and shrubs we normally walk out to when we're rockhounding, those are underwater. We'll just bring you down so that you can see where our tree sort of was. There's a tree underwater here that's, well, actually you can just barely see the top of it right here. Yeah, right there. Out in the water. That's the top of that tree that we see. Just barely see the edge of it underwater there moving. But we can see that the river is up significantly, and it's definitely clear that we're not going to be doing any rockhounding today here. But I just wanted to show you how our rivers do come up, and they come up like this a couple of times a year. It happens all the time. And to give you a little bit of a perspective here, the boat ramp carries downward probably another 8-9 feet to the gravel bar, and that's already covered. And it looks like the water levels are still coming up a little bit. You can kind of see how the water ebbs and flows a little bit. But we know, because we come down here and we watch where the debris flows are at, getting pushed to. Just a little bit of nature's awesome power. Alright, so from the previous clips you could kind of see that that was up there quite a bit. And we're going to take a look around and see what the high water did to the gravel bar. Now you can see we're pretty close to the edge still and it's still draining off. But it looks like it added some material here. That may not be easy to see on video because things like, you know, angle and height, they don't always translate well onto camera. So we'll do the best we can with showing you that. But it looks like we got a pretty good layer of new stuff. And we started off with a really nice agate. Look at that. First agate of the day. Woohoo. That's actually a really nice one. It's kind of like a peachy pink. It comes off as like a caramely color. That's pretty cool. That's a very nice find for the first of the day. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find some more. I'm kind of excited for this. I like it when the water comes up because it really does. It's like giving you a brand new gravel bar every time. I'm just trying to make sure my camera is in the right spot for you folks. There's a little bit of quartz. Alright. So I didn't see anything in the water. That doesn't really mean much. I almost never find my agates in the water. I know there's some people who like to go creek walking and yeah. It's not really my thing. I've done it. It's great when it's really hot out. But it doesn't really get hot enough to do that here in some places. It just amounts to a freezing cold walk through an ice cold creek because you're in the shade all the time because the valleys are so deep here. Oh, I almost thought we had another agate there. Although one interesting thing did happen. We crossed over 750 subscribers. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked about that. I know it doesn't seem that way because I don't have a very excited tone all the time. That's just kind of who I am. I'm not exactly prone to emotional outbursts. So if I seem kind of flat, yeah, well, that's just who I am. Keep on taking a look around, see what we can find. So we got back and I cleaned all of our rocks up. Kind of see them in there. It's a little dark in this light, but so I brought that moss agate that we caught so that you can kind of understand this guy. So here's that stone. You can see the clear chalcedony sitting here. Moving around the back. Now, without getting this one wet, I try and dry my hands a little bit so you can understand this. And see kind of, you see where you can see the clear chalcedony, how it looks a little frosty white, and right down in here. Alright. Kind of see how that matches up. Alright, now I'm going to get it wet. You can kind of see how that starts to... Does that start to make sense to you guys now? I hope. Alright, now I'm going to get the other side wet. And we know from the last time I showed this to you, and I'll pop a card up for the last video. I know it's hard to see. But you can see how that gets some really great mossy and plumy features to it. And it's a really good solid piece of stone. Just our saw couldn't handle cutting it. But we got a really, really great base to work with, great stone base to work with. So that's that's this one, and that's a very definitely a moss agate. So that's kind of cool. Now this was that yellow Jasper nodule we picked up. You can kind of see that it's got some really cool, like, tiger striping going on to it. That's kind of cool. And I was looking around on it, and you can kind of see just a little bit of red in there. It's not a chip stuck in there. It's actually some red jasper that's bound up in here somewhere. So there will probably be red and yellow and sort of maybe a golden honey colored chalcedony, which is pretty cool. We found this guy out there. This is sort of a caramely brown and bright red jasper. They come through like shocks bleeding out of veins. It's really cool. That's pretty awesome. Now this one we looked at because I thought that maybe it was going to be some kind of a moss agate. And it may be, but I think it's more of a plume with some dendrites in it. It's cool, but ultimately it's pretty fractured, and I don't think we're going to be able to cut anything out of that. Not anything meaningful anyway. This one that we saw that had that really cool banding in it, I took a look at it pretty closely, cleaned it up. I'm fairly confident this is a petrified wood, and a really cool, colorful one. So this may be something that I decide to cut. I'd probably cut it along this to get that figured detail. I think that'll be the prettiest face. There was this one. This really super bright yellow jasper. That one was really cool. Now, when we were cleaning it up, I noticed that it has some, there's the base color of the chalcedony that's sort of coloring it. It's this really amber, well, it's almost like an orange, like almost like a carnelian orange. It's really cool. But you can see that sort of bleeding out, the color of it bleeding out. It's kind of neat. I'm really digging that. We also pulled up this one, and I thought that this was pretty cool because as you turn it, you can see this really cool figured patterning coming out of it. You see that figuring? It's really cool. And it kind of reminds me of like mahogany or something like that. Just the way that the figuring on it is. It's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying that. And it's got some green coming through it. That's really nice. Oh, the green and white one that we picked up that sort of looked like a heart. There's that all cleaned up. And it's just a little bit of local bedrock, but I was really enjoying the patterning on that. It sort of looked like a little filigree. But I thought that was neat. Well, here's that seam agate we picked up. That's kind of neat. That cleaned up pretty cool. Let's see, it's got little pockets in it. That's kind of neat. What else did we have that was cool? Take some of the water out of my bucket so that we can see those. There's that really cool jasper that we picked up. Check out that. It's got a really weird sort of flamey color to it. Looks like it's got some pyrite in it. We'll have to clean that up really good and take a look at it. But that's pretty awesome. Just set that down there. It's a nice little flamey red piece of Jasper that we found. Oh, here's that little red and yellow nodule that we picked up. Look at that. That's got some really cool flamey detail to it. Just kind of enjoying that. You can sort of see that it's really plumy because it's got some almost like it's hard to tell because of this light, but it's really subtle, but it's like color on color and you can just barely see through layers. That's pretty neat. It's another little nodule of Jasper that we picked up. I was trying to pick out the agates we found. There's that one sort of like a seam agate. You can almost barely see where the host rock was here. There's a little bit of a plume or a dendrite inside of it, like mossy inclusions. It's kind of neat. Here's a little seam agate we found. Oh yeah, well, this guy. Now look at that. That's just really cool. You can kind of see the light coming through that. It's a really cool pink-orange color that on camera it looks like it's coming off like a carnelian orange, but there's a really definite pink quality to it in the hand when you're looking at it. There's some definite pink peach color kind of showing in the light. I hope that picks up pretty well. Well, there's this poppy, poppy Jasper comes up around here all the time. That's pretty cool stuff. But pretty much, those are our finds. It's a bunch of sugar agates. Nothing really cool. But, not bad for just looking around. Oh yeah, that really cool piece of Jasper we demonstrated conchoidal fracturing with. But, yeah, that's what we found this time. So, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for future videos. Maybe next time we'll find some more agates. We're going to be checking out some more gravel bars now that the river's come up and shifted some material pretty good. We'll have an excuse to go and check out other places. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm out.